Powered up on video. Who's out? So here it is. That box powered up.
This is an historic day. It's a day when America will begin to look at kids differently and child abuse from a whole new perspective.
Well, when we first developed the idea for this spot, we knew early on that it was a lot bigger than any one person's idea. I think the whole thing came together because we had a vision to do something very big, something that no one else has done before.
It's coming up. Slight's coming up.
And so when we started thinking about animation being the part to do, I knew that it was more than I could handle. Wanted to get help from experts in the field who knew the business and would also be sensitive to the subject. So we built a team of people across the country, literally across the country, who believed in what we were doing and had the expertise to enlarge our vision. So our team wasn't limited in any way to me or to the people we were working with, but that as we needed people, the more people we brought in, it expanded and grew and got bigger and better as they lent their support to the effort.
I think that the thing that really deeply touched me, I guess, the first day at the studios was the level of commitment that the people had.
Well, we won't start until we hear the word from the director on what he wants the look to be. And as far as hair goes and makeup goes, Tennille has pretty beautiful skin, so we won't have to do anything really to her face, except for a little bit of blush. And all depends on how they want the hair to look.
There's a commitment, there's an incredible commitment to get things done right that goes beyond what I associate as being professional. I've been around a lot of professionals from various fields, and I understand the wanting to go the extra mile. But everyone who's been involved with this production has gone a mile beyond the extra mile.
That's the most important thing, that we have a nice look on her for 20 seconds. All right.
As far as where it goes over the boards.
When we first started talking about the issue of child abuse and doing something for Kids Peace, it gave me an opportunity that I'd been looking for a long time.
Powered up.
This spot is about awareness, making people aware of the magnitude of the problem. But then it's a call to action, that people will become involved in a solution to it. And what we want people to do is look at themselves and say, what can I do to solve this problem?
I'll let you check it out. Let me see what I can do, and I'll bring it back. All right. Dig out his scissors.
I've always felt that this was a cause that deserved a lot more attention than it had been getting. It's something that, in so many different levels, affects so many different people. This is the kind of spot that I think will draw people's attention. It'll make them think about what they're doing today as adults, and almost regardless of their background, how do they want to reapproach, you know, how they are addressing their life now with their children or anything else like that.
Okay, everybody, how we doing? See you working out over there.
Tennille!
You guys all ready?
You guys ready? Feel good?
My thanks go to the young performer who you see in the commercial. Really, her amazing ability to maintain a certain level of apparent discomfort, even though she was very comfortable and at ease on the set. You had that look of, you know, loneliness in her face and all of those things. It's like anything else in directing. You know, it's really a very big team effort, and my job as cheerleader I find very rewarding and very refreshing.
Tennille, slowly, just keep looking at the chair. Okay, now look straight ahead and move your body more to the left. When you hear them call rolling camera, go ahead and
I have two children of my own that I could never imagine needing this kind of assistance. But when I look at them and imagine children that do, it always hits me very strongly.
So just be depressed. That's nice. Everybody ready? Ready. All right, why don't we roll camera? And action.
And out. I like 2 better so far. In a way, as rewarding as it is to see the final project and to say, oh, technically it's wonderful and everything, it's also spiritually wonderful.
Okay.
Well, I like the light on her.
Yeah.
If you can live with that, I
That's
think.
nice when you just lifted your head up a little bit like that, like there. It's very nice.
The first place you have to start is, you know, why animation? And I think that when you think about the process or the problem of children being abused and neglected, it's such an abhorrent thought that it's really hard to face. So coming up with a strategy to allow people to begin to come to grips with the fact that this is a reality and it does happen with 1 in 5 children in America was a real challenge, because there have been many people out there before trying to make this point. Not quite in the same way, but to make this point. So to come up with a creative solution led us down the path of animation that we talked about.
It's going to be kind of like a Roger Rabbit-esque type animation deal where the character will be fully rendered with highlights and shading to make it look three-dimensional, like it is part of the scene. It will be the only animated element in the shoot. You could split the bowl horizontally, so because the lower part of the water should never really move. It's no big deal. So you have the splash just from the top part of the water, and then you also pull a mat off the right side of the fish bowl, so you know all the parts that of the girl or whatever is from the normal live shot.
And then you roto this thing out by taking our clean pass with the
Trip
water
Gruver is an amazing guy. I mean, he's a guy who I could tell as soon as we talked to him that he was a guy who understood animation. To me, that was a big relief, because a lot of times a live-action director doesn't really quite know what he's asking for in certain situations. He doesn't understand the restrictions, understand what an animator has to do, and I felt that he knew exactly what he was doing, and he knew exactly what I had to do.
All right, let's roll. And action. Really sad, and exhale. Bring your head up a little bit. Oh, yeah.
So instead of just shooting the pamphlet like this and set in front of the camera, we go like this with it and up a little bit, and that's where we do our cut on the upsweep. So he goes, gets out and goes.
And then it's full screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you couldn't just take this.
Yes.
We looked at characters that are associated with everyone's life, like a dog or a cat or you know, a canary and a parakeet. And what we wanted to do was to come up with a character that was believable and credible, but also the kind of character that could interact with an audience and impart knowledge. And in one evening, in walking around some of the treatment centers operated by Kids Peace, we happened to notice that a number of the children were just kind of chilling out and relaxing and watching fish in aquariums.
What we came upon was a fish. A fish is a logical creature. It's in every household. It's every person's pet. It can be in the city, it can be in the suburbs, it can be in a rural area. Everyone, anywhere, can have a fish. We often think of a fishbowl of us looking in and saying, oh, our life is in a fishbowl. You look inside and you imagine what it's like to be inside. We wanted to turn that and say, what would it be like for the fish to look out? What would a fish think and feel and look at in an abusive home, or as a spokesperson for every home? So we built the character around a fish, and we chose a goldfish because it's the most common fish.
Okay, what this does is, when the fish has to be laid over the live scene, the animation has to go over the live scene. It has to have a mat. It has to have a black image to go on there first before you can put the actual animation on top of it. Otherwise, it would just DX, it would double expose. The fish would be see-through, and you'd see the background and all the other live action elements. By creating a black matte pass like this, what we do is we lay down the black pass first, and then we lay down the fish on top of that, and that's what gives us our proper matting.
So here's the fish. Now I'm popping the fish in to this scene. And so he's just a flat, original top-lit cell. If I was, you know, I've got the cell, him on black, and then I've got the cell white on black, so I can poke this hole in the video behind it. Our goal is to take flat, animated cell, just no highlights, no textures.
Okay, that's fine.
And combine that with an environment which has lots of shadows and highlights and real people in it. We're going to put her reflection when she leans up against the glass. I'm going to take her face, reposition it, flip it around so that she sees a reflection. We see a slight reflection of her in the bowl.
Now, the one thing I always do in my work is to create an integration with whatever environment it is we're shooting in live action,
I'm going to take this
and letting the animated character become a part of that environment as if they were there for the shoot.
On his side to match the table angle, shrink him down in size, bring him over here.
Very nice.
So he's out of focus.
Looked like they were meant to be.
Okay, so here's both bubble passes.
Okay.
You see very slightly in the corner, the reflection.
See a little reflection on her arm?
Yeah. Well, can we take that and put it in Dave?
Maybe. Her hands should be in about the same place.
You know, and as I watch this, you know what we should do? We should put a reflection of her in this section of the bowl over here.
Oh, okay.
So, something that we couldn't catch on the set. Because
There's really two purposes of this PSA.
Put that in there, I think that would be cool.
One is what's obvious, to make the issue known. To go into every household in America, or as many households as we can get into, to say, first and foremost, child abuse is a threat. It's a threat to you whether you live in a rural setting. It's a threat to you if you live in a suburban setting. It's a threat to you and your children and your family, no matter where you are. The second purpose was to motivate parents to do something about it.
If every parent could take a responsibility for his own or her own children and hear the Kids Peace message and learn about the 24 ways they can prevent abuse in their own household, because that's where most abuse occurs, close to the home, and more often than not with people known to the children and known to the family, that the number of occasions where children are abused and neglected would diminish significantly.
And I think what we're trying to say is, with education, with commitment, and with people's desire to change, there can be change.
The only feeling worse than learning your child has been abused is knowing you could have prevented it. Fact is, 1 in every 5 American kids is abused before age 18. I know, I see it every day. Kids Peace can help protect a child you love from abuse. Call for the free pamphlet, 24 Ways You Can Prevent Child Abuse. You can stop child abuse before it starts. Call Kids Peace, 1-800-858-KIDS right now.
You took third. That was the third. That's the third. You see up here, we got a picture at the top of the table. Okay. You want to cover your lens there?
Oh, see, I don't want to split.
Yeah, because you got that sexy reflection.
Yeah, it's way out. It's on TV, so it's okay.
Actually, doesn't look bad either.
Well, the other thing was really interesting in all of ours.
Brian, you want to go with the black frost?
Yeah. I think on this lens we'll go 0+.